Hey everyone, it's your girl Jeessacapri and I'm back with another video for y'all today. I don't even know where to start, but have you guys ever thought about how your parents used to discipline you compared to how they discipline your younger sibling now? And you're thinking, how come I didn't get that type of discipline? Like, how come I didn't get 1 try, 2 try, 3 try? How come I was never told one of these days? Like, how come I didn't get the finger warnings? Like, how come I didn't get the look in the eye? Like, how come I didn't get the pause? Like, how come I didn't get to walk away and put myself in a room and stay away for hours? How come? How come? How come? That's what I would like to know. Parents then versus now, okay? But before we get into this video, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my platforms, which will be on the screen somewhere, more likely right down here. I'm just gonna give you a couple minutes to subscribe to your girl, okay? I'm gonna sit here in silence, give you some time to figure out life, to let us become a family, and give y'all that moment. Are we good? Okay. Now, I'm just gonna talk about the discipline that I got and the discipline that I see now. And you guys can let me know down below if you guys actually agree with what I'm saying or if you guys actually disagree with what I'm saying. Growing up as a young woman, my mother was very, very, very strict. I'm a sibling of 4. Most of the time my mother would work. Then again, don't get me wrong, my mother had time for us. Like, we got a lot of family time. Like, if you look at my family now, we're like this. Like, there ain't none of y'all who could come in between that. Like, we breaking heads. Don't try. There was a lot of responsibilities. Like, you come home, make something to eat, clean the house, wash the dishes. If it ain't done, y'all get licks. If it ain't done, y'all get slapped. If it ain't done, like, y'all get the drift. Like, it was just, you just knew you had something to do. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, there was no talking back. There was no giving your opinion. There was no, like, I remember when I was young, there was like this show like my mother used to watch, which was like Young and the Restless, okay? I couldn't watch that, okay? Like, the only show my mother would actually let me watch, which was Passions. Now, y'all know Passions was lit. So that show my mother used to let me watch, but Young and the Restless and Days of Our Lives, and my mother never let me watch that. Y'all know, like, back then when the older folks was talking, you do not involve yourself in conversation. There is no conversation with you, with the adults. So you sit there, whatever you hear. You take it in one ear, you let it go out the other ear. Well, with me now, I used to take it in one ear, soak it in, keep it in, don't let it out. But you would never hear me talk about it. We didn't do that. Like, we did not do that. Like, I don't know what that is. There was just things, like, as a young person back in like the early 2000s, like early 2000s, there was no. It was a no. It was just a no. Like, it's not happening. Like, it's not happening. It's just not happening. Like, you ain't involved. Like, don't get involved. Don't act like you grown. Don't be grown. Like, to the adults, you still a child. Like, you are still a child, okay? So you ain't gonna be walking in anytime you feel like. You ain't gonna be leaving the house anytime you feel like. Child. And I say child because you still a child, okay? Now, we gonna get to what I've been seeing lately. The other day, I see my mom like, you know, my sister did something wrong. I can't remember what it was, but she did something wrong. And my mom got upset with her. And my mom started to yell. But it wasn't the type of yell, like, I know. Like, even up to this day, like, there's certain things I'm still restricted on saying in front of my parents. I don't swear at all. Like, my mom has never heard a swear word out of me. Like, I swear to you, and I told my mom this the other day, it's like, when I get around my mother, swear words leave. Like, it exits the door. When I get to my mother's house, we part ways, okay? We part ways. We don't know each other, okay? So back to what I was saying. My sister did something and my mother started to yell. But again, it wasn't the same type of yelling that I know. When my mother was done yelling, like I know, my mother would have done whoop my already. Like, she would have done beat me, she would have done discipline me in the way that I know my mother would have disciplined me, okay? I seen my sister go that way, and I seen my mom go that way, but my mother's cussing all the way down there by herself. My sister's in her room. Mind you, these are the younger ones. But the only line that stuck out to me, the only line, mind you, again, she was cussing, okay? And most of the time when they're cussing, I am not involved. Unless if I need to be. But the only line that stuck out to me was, my mother said, and I quote, one of these days, and it's not the first time I've heard her say that. Like, it's not the first time. And like, she'll shake her finger. One of these days, I ain't playing with you. One of these days. Now, when she said it, I was like, okay, you keep saying one of these days. When is the day gonna come? Like, when is this day supposed to come? Because one of these days keeps being said, but up to now, I don't see the day coming. That is the one. So please help me figure out when that day will come so I can actually say it is that day. It's the one day that you said is this day. Up till now, I haven't seen that day. So when is it? When is that day gonna come? Like, I'm like, right now, I look back at sometimes I get so frustrated because like my sisters, like, they'll be saying certain things back and I'll be sitting there like shaking my head like, don't do it. Like, you you already know what's gonna come after. Like, why are you testing? Like, why are you testing the energy to hit back at you? Like, I swear, like, these young kids nowadays, like, they like hearing it. Like, they like hearing the yelling, like, they like it. Compared to, like, me now, who's like elderly, it's like, I don't want to hear it. So it's like, okay, you go ahead and yell, you go ahead and scream. I'm gonna just sit here in silence. When you're done, just let me know, okay? Like, that's me. That's my energy. Like, these young kids nowadays, like, they feel like they have to say something back. Like, help me. Why do you feel you have to answer back? Why do you feel you have to give your opinion? Why do you feel like you have a say? Like, I understand. Our parents always teach us, don't let nobody talk to you the way you feel. Like, you could be, taken advantage of. Like, speak up your mind. Like, your parents teach you that for a reason. They teach you it for other people out there. They don't teach you it for you to use it against them. That's how you lose your life. Like, they tell you, I brought you into this world. I can take you out. Now, why would you decide to test their patience? You trying to die? Like, I always tell my sisters, like, if you want to die, just let me know. Like, I could sign, I could get the grave ready. Like, I can prepare everything for you before the time. But for some reason, people want to die right in front of me. I don't want to see you die. I'm not trying to see nobody die in front of me. I remember you had to like worry about how you're gonna do this. Like you had to worry about, okay, how am I gonna tell my mom I want to go somewhere but tell her a different story so that I could go there? Like you had to be smart. Like you had to know how you gonna tell your parents that you going here, but technically you ain't going there. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be smart. Nowadays, kids just telling people, I'm going here. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Oh well, you gonna accept it. Oh well. If you don't like it, that's on you. Parents, help me understand, like, do you guys get tired of like the heavy discipline that you guys do? Like with the first couple children? Like, is it because like you guys, it's your first child and you don't want to do wrong, and like it's your first child so you don't really know how to discipline, and it's like, okay, that's the best? Or is it like that's the best way you know to discipline because you turned out a certain way and like you want your kids to turn out a certain way because you decide to use that same type of discipline on your kids, and like after a certain time like you make that mistake, you're like, okay, let me try to change my discipline so I'm be a little bit softer on the next kid, and then the next kid you're like extra soft, and then the next kid you're like, okay, I'm gonna like be really soft. Like, is that what you guys go through? Because like I want to know, because again, y'all have me confused, because again, like I said, the discipline that I got compared to the discipline that I see now is not really coinciding with each other. They're not really matching up. So I would really like to know and understand like how you guys go through the process of disciplining your children. Let me know down in the comments down below how the discipline as parents work for you guys. Like I know some parents don't really believe in like beating your kids. So some parents believe in like heavy talking. Again, I get it. But if you do heavy talking, like do you just not talk after a couple children? Do you just not say anything? Because like for parents that beat, you beat, and then you end up don't beating. So for the parents that don't beat, but they just talk to the children and discipline their children by like timeouts and stuff, do you just end up not talking and not timing out your kids? Like, I'm trying to understand as for why parents change your discipline routine and why you guys get softer, and why, like, just why. That's just why. Why? I have a lot of respect. Don't get me wrong, my other siblings are too, they got respect. But they test the waters a lot. But like every kid goes through it. Like you want to try your parents, you want to see what you can get away with, you want to see as much as you can do. I get it. Like even with my younger sibling, there's certain things I just look at it and I don't really get upset over. I get it. I understand the freedom that I didn't get. I understand it, so I don't really get upset as much as like most other siblings would. But I just really want to understand how the discipline goes from heavy discipline to no discipline at all. I got my first phone between 19 to 21. Like these young kids now, they're having phones in elementary. I didn't really get Facebook and all them things until I was like in high school. These kids now, elementary, having phones, being on chats, being on social medias. Like, help me understand how it went from being so strict to being so loose. And I'm talking to all parents. Like, I'm not talking to just mine, because you know. But I'm talking to all parents. Like, there's things that I be watching nowadays out in the world. Like, when I go out to, like, the mall. And, bro, my hands does be itching. But for us Caribbean people, when we say our hand is itching, it's more likely we want to slap something, or we want to beat something, or our hands need to be used somehow, or you're gonna get money or something. When I go out there and I see kids being disrespectful to like the elderly, or like, don't get me wrong, if somebody try you, girl, try them back. Like, don't get me wrong, but I mean like little kids who are yelling, screaming at their parents, or like dropping themselves on the ground. Boy, the way sometimes I'm like, boy, let that be my child. Let that be my child. Boy, the way, I don't know what I would do to you, but I know you would not be doing that. Like, my mother always used to tell me this, and this is something I always kept with me. You gotta bend the tree before it starts to grow. You bend it from young. When you have a plant and you plant the seed, the tree starts to sprout. The root starts to sprout into a little tree, okay? And the tree is already curving and you want it to stand up straight. What do? Not take a rope, tie it around with a stick so that it stands up straight, right? You're directing where the tree is gonna go, right? So that's what you're gonna do with your pin. If you see the child being very disrespectful and they're going down a slope, nigga, you whack that nonsense back straight into our row so that it can stand up straight and understand itself. That's what you're supposed to do. Let me know down in the comments down below. Parents, let me understand how the discipline changed. Like, why is it so known right now that you spoil your kids compared to actually having kids that are disciplined and respectful? The licks, the box, the slap, where did it go? But yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. Peace.